So nobody really wants to hear from me, so we'll listen to Matt Damon give us a few more juicy details on Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
3 hours. Have you seen
I've
it?
seen it. It's fantastic.
This is a national emergency.
How long is it?
It's 3 hours.
Detonator charged.
And Killian is everything you would want him to be. He is phenomenal. I asked Chris Nolan after how long it was because I didn't think it. I was shocked to learn that it was. I think it's almost 3 hours. I couldn't. It goes so fast.
So Damon says it's 3 hours. He says almost 3 hours, really. So it could be 2 hours 40 minutes, 2 hours 50 minutes, but it's very, very close to 3 hours. It may not officially be 3 hours, but it will be long. Now, will it be good? Well, we have a few more details that may, I think, encourage a lot of confidence. So now we know Josh Hartnett is playing Lawrence, a nuclear physicist, and physics. I know physics a little bit, and even the history of physics. I don't know this person, so that's a little weird because I do know the Manhattan Project a little bit. Some of these names are not familiar, so it seems like we're getting a mixture of the really big people and small people. And apparently Nolan is even hiring actual scientists as extras in the film. So, yeah, we're going to get a full gamut. But that could be both good and bad. Again, it is very long, so we should get proper time with all these very strange and interesting characters. So let's go through some of them. So now we know that Pugh is playing Jean. So Frances is playing Jean, who it's hard to describe. You could call her a girlfriend, but it's very complicated because she's very politically active, and she was with these other men who were also very politically active. And this is all happening in San Francisco, which, for those who don't know, was a very liberal left-wing city. So Oppenheimer was getting very into politics through these women, and this includes Kitty, and that's played by Emily Blunt, and she's also very politically active. So I don't know how much Nolan is going to delve into that, but I know that we're doing a bit of the story in Princeton because I'm on the East Coast, so I can confirm as a fact, yeah, that is Princeton University. I've been to Princeton quite a few times. I don't know the entire campus, but I've been through most of it because I had to take tours if I was going to do graduate studies there. So I can definitely confirm, yes, those Princeton shots are real, and that's when he left San Francisco. So presumably they are doing, yes, the building of the bomb, but it has to be dealing a little bit with the post-war years. But how much, to what extent, what are they going to focus on? That we don't know. And Killian has said, even if you do know the story of Oppenheimer, the biography, they're not following it strictly. So they're going to be playing around with a few things. How factual will this be? Still unclear. Because we don't know some of these other people, like Rami Malek is in this. Still don't know who he is. And he is in the trailer. I noticed him, but what is he up to? Again, remember that Oppenheimer was sort of suspected after the actual bomb exploded. They thought his loyalties were not secure. So it could be some of these people are spies. Maybe they're former students. Maybe they're current students. He became very famous. So it could be just people who became fans of his work, followed him around. There's a lot of possibilities. And people are playing some characters in multiple roles. Like we've got a young Feynman and an old Feynman. So that's very interesting. So it seems like we're going to be dealing not just with the bombs, but a lot of the internal conflicts and his personality issues with his colleagues, some of which who thought he was actually a little bit too close to Washington. And we know that Robert Downey Jr. is basically playing someone on the Atomic Commission. So it seems we're going to get both sides of Oppenheimer, sort of him being very rebellious, wanting to do his own thing, but also him negotiating with the government. I don't think Nolan is going to stick to the facts because it's a little embarrassing because we think Oppenheimer opposed the bomb. No, he actually worked with the Washington people for a little while, and he actually was more conservative than we think. At least in the early years when people were opposing the bomb, he was a little bit more patient with Truman because, again, Roosevelt had died. He was more hopeful that he could still work with the Washington people. So hopefully we're going to see that, I don't know what you want to call it, the more sellout side of Oppenheimer to be balanced, but we'll have to wait and see. So a few more details on the length and the characters and the cast, but again, that's the real question is, what are the contours of the plot? It just seems now we do know the basic parameters. We're going to get some of the early years with the construction of the bomb and some of the post-war fallout, but how much of this is going to be in the film, to what degree, the proportion, that we don't know. So a lot of mysteries still, and at least this will be very, very authentic. They've made extreme efforts to be extremely precise with the science. So what we're going to see is extremely authentic. This is really how the bomb was made. This is how physics operates. But again, a lot will also be fantasy, so we'll have to wait and see. But very exciting news for Oppenheimer.